Hey everybody, Dan Cook here reporting for bullmarketrun.com. Just want you all to know we got a special situation on our hands with Granada Gold Mine, GGM. We know there's good news on the way. 3 catalysts approaching, at least that we know of, within the next 60 days. So astute investors, sophisticated speculators, they're buying this stock right now. We know they're accumulating. We've seen the volume really starting to increase over the last month or so. And looking at the chart here, you see a top last year around 15 cents, just an interim top. This is the downtrend line in blue. You see we're hugging that right here, right now at 6.5 cents. We've all seen this before. The stock GGM, it's going to break the downtrend line any day now. Once it gets above 7 cents on any amount of convincing volume, we know we see big moves on stocks. So this is going to really start to run a lot faster. We think we're going to see some big, powerful moves in the weeks and months to come. Here's why. I mean, before we get into the catalysts, right, the company situated perfectly here. You see their property in red, straddling the Cadillac Fault. It's a prolific area. Over 50 million ounces have been produced. You see all the other big mines all within the region. Easy access, mining friendly jurisdiction. What else can we really ask for? Zoning in, zooming in a little closer, we see the pretty big land package Granada has here in dark yellow. Only about 20% of it's been explored. So we know in this general area, they've got about 2.6 million ounces that they've outlined, all near surface, by the way. And to the north of that, if you go back to January, look at their press release, really important one. They made a new high-grade discovery to the north of their existing resource. It's about almost 2 ounces a ton. So go check that out. We're, brand new discovery outside of the existing resource. It's at depth, and it's high grade. So that really indicates to the geologists out there that, look, we're just scratching the surface. There's a lot more exploration and expansion to this existing resource that we can expect. And again, it's only 20% explored. So we're looking at a big, long strike length here, potentially, and it's open in all directions, including at depth. So that just means the vast majority, 80% of this property hasn't been touched. So we can expect a lot of upside to come, and we think it's going to come real soon, right? Within the next 60 days, that's one of the big catalysts. We're looking at the resource from 5 years ago in 2012. About 76 million tons, just over a gram. That equates to 2.6 million ounces of gold in the ground. Shooting over to Kitco, I want you to take a look at this study on your own. If I encourage you. It's interesting. If you just do a search, the real value of gold in the ground on Kitco. This was a study that a group called Cipher Research did. Essentially, they're looking at over 250 deals, 250 M&A transactions over the last decade. What they found is that the average deal, gold in the ground, it sells for about $40 an ounce. So all over the world, different jurisdictions, big deposits, smaller deposits, they sell for about $40 per ounce in the ground. So with that in mind, right, we want to see what are we paying for Granada. We see here the market cap, 25 million. First thing we have to do is convert that into US dollars. Study is looking at an average sales price of $40 per ounce in the ground, US dollars. So we take 25.2 to multiply that by 0.75. That's about the Canadian exchange rate. In US terms, we're paying 18.9 million. We want to divide that by 2.6 million ounces. That gives us a cost. Sophisticated speculators like us, we're only paying a little more than $7 per ounce of gold in the ground. So why so cheap? I mean, we know over the last decade, over 250 deals sold for an average of $40. So that would imply GGM is priced 82% below the market. and would have to appreciate by more than five-fold from here just to be valued at what all these other companies sold for. So why is the market going to revalue this thing higher? I'm going to try to shed some light on that. Take you right to this March 6th news release. Granada Gold Mine announces letter of intent from DRA Americas to act as technical advisor in the development of the Granada Gold project. Let's see what the senior VP of this company had to say. We wish to reiterate DRA's keen interest in the Granada Gold project and look forward to working with the company to progress the project. Okay, so one of the big things that's going to make this stock worth more, what's going to make the gold in the ground worth more, is DRA Global's involvement and a little method they refer to as pre-concentration. Okay, first things first, I just want to shed some light on the DRA Global too. This is an article from Mining Review. Company has global in their name, but they don't just throw global in their name like some companies do to sound big. This truly is a global company. You can see here highlighted some of the projects they've worked on in the past. Mining Review thinks they're conquering Africa, apparently, for better or for worse. And by the way, they work with Robert Friedland on two of his projects at Ivanhoe Mines. So I want to think if it's good enough for Robert Friedland and companies that are hundreds of times the size of Granada, then it's got to be good for them. And it's a significant piece of news that the market's really underappreciating that this company is working with them. You can see right here, Anglo Gold's working with the pre-concentrate as well. So the smart companies are doing it, apparently. And it works for a couple different reasons. I mean, it uses less energy. You need less processing, less grindings required. It saves water, more environmentally friendly. Saving water, that's never a bad thing. So this just makes the economics on projects look better. And it's really interesting that DRA Global was just on the ground looking at maybe where the best place would be to build one of these facilities. So wrapping up here, let's just get back to the chart. Oh, before I forget the upgrader effect, special report we put out to subscribers recently. See May of 2015, Gecko Systems. Nice discovery. They figured out that with pre-concentration at the Granada property, you can turn half a gram of material into nearly 5 grams. So this is big news. Thus far, no one except BMR has really caught on to this story, but they will. And again, once the stock breaks above the blue downtrend line here, once we get above 7 cents, it's going to run much higher. And just to summarize, just to wrap things up, we know there's good news on the way. We know there's good news on the way. The stock looks great technically. It's about to break above the downtrend line. We've always, we've all seen that good things happen when stocks break above downtrend lines, and GGM is only half a cent away, only a penny away from doing that. So it looks great technically speaking. We know it's undervalued, selling for $7 per ounce when the average deal over the last decade, over 250 of them, sold for $40 per ounce. And if we're to believe this 100,000 meters is going to boost up that resource to 4 or 5 million ounces, we're really paying much less than 7. So this is a deal. Looks good technically, looks good fundamentally. We know DRA Global submitting their proposal sometime in May, we believe. They said they're keenly interested. So for all those reasons and more, this is an immediate buy. GGM, the stock was 75 cents in 2010 after they made that first discovery, and it was 15 cents less than a year ago. So buy GGM.